have a maintenance simulator, which, sir, I request you to kindly explain the maintenance simulator to our dear viewers.
Hi, sure. So this is a family of 5 maintenance simulators that Pinaka Aerospace has built out, specifically tailor-made for the Tejas light combat aircraft. What you're seeing right now is what is called a cockpit procedure trainer. This is meant for a maintenance engineer to try and simulate conditions of fault which may have been observed by the pilot during flight, and this simulates the exact replica of how a cockpit will look like, the Tejas cockpit looks like. So here, for example, what we have is, instead of the actual throttle, actual switches and so on and so forth, we have a touchscreen enabled system whereby I can move the throttle by dragging and dropping, and the front panel looks exactly like how the front panel of the Tejas will look like, and by operating all the control systems that exist in the aircraft over here, I'm able to simulate conditions which determine what the fault may be and see whether I can arrive at the root cause of what systems may require maintenance. So this is a beautiful system. It revolutionizes the way in which maintenance happens, because a maintenance engineer does not need to have access to a real aircraft before training himself. Now he can use a system of this kind to get trained on how cockpit procedures happen without having access to a real aircraft.
So, currently, what is the status of the simulator, and what has been the response from the end user?
So this has been deployed at the Air Force Station Sulur, where the first squadron of the Tejas, the Daggers, are deployed currently. So the first squadron of the LCA are already using the system at Air Force Station Sulur in their Tetra school there. And the same is the case with all the rest of the 4 other members of the family of simulators also.
And how does Pinaka Aerospace looks at the export potential of this maintenance simulator in the international market?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and thanks for asking that, because amongst the things that we in partnership with HAL are doing is when the Tejas itself is being positioned as an export potential, a lot of countries are looking at the Tejas aircraft. But what is more important, and why we believe we have a strong proposal for the other foreign countries, foreign buyers of the Tejas, is that it is not just the aircraft, but the entire ecosystem surrounding it, including the maintenance simulators such as this, which make the proposal of Tejas far more stronger than equivalent light combat aircraft being offered worldwide to other countries.
Apart from this, could you please also give us a tour around what are the other products being highlighted by Pinaka Aerospace?
Sure, I will do that in a moment. I need to walk over to the other simulator in that case. I will do that, all right? Come along.
After the maintenance simulator, here we have the Movo visual simulator. So could you please explain this to our viewers? What system is this?
Sure. So this is the second of the family of 5 maintenance simulators that I explained, the cockpit procedure training being the first one. This provides more in-depth details to the maintenance engineer about every system and subsystem that constitutes the Tejas aircraft. So there is a textual description which talks about what the system is, and there is a high-level diagram which explains at the system level, and the user is able to drill down to go down to subsystem level. What you see here is one example of the power generator, okay? And it shows what the electrical interconnectivities are, and has an ability to say how, in case a particular component is there something wrong over here, I'm able to see what could be the leading input and output systems, and make a determination of how I can quickly isolate the problem to a small component within the subsystem, and then go ahead and provide information as to how to rectify the situation.
Apart from the LCA Tejas, does Pinaka Aerospace really focuses on building such systems for other aircrafts as well?
Yeah. So we have a suite of products which cut across the Jaguar, the Sukhoi 30, the MiG-29s, the Hawks, and so we do a lot of work for the entire range of fleet of the Indian Air Force. Amongst the more important things is that apart from training simulators, we have airborne avionics. We have components which are flying in the air right now, and one of our products is actually displayed on the other side. So we have ground-based testers, ground-based supports equipment of various kinds. We have airborne avionics. We have maintenance trainers of this nature, and we do a lot of work on engines. We do the maintenance repair overall of gas turbine engines, which not many people do. Currently, gas turbine engines are very, very complex and primarily are reliant on the OEM for doing the maintenance, the repair and overall. But here is something that we do ourselves, and we have indigenized a lot of components ourselves, including the airborne avionics that I can show you in a bit.
So, as you speak about engines, and India has been really struggling since decades for indigenous engines, what is the current status of the engines currently being developed by you, the component, the indigenization rate, and how do these come as a complete package for the defense industry?
Okay, that's a long question, but very quickly, what we are doing is not the entire engine. So we are looking at specific parts which may go wrong very frequently and have isolated that as the primary area of focus for us to then say, how can we quickly turn around a non-functional engine and make it available back for the services to use in whatever system it is being deployed for. Now, we do not have, and we are, like you said, we have been struggling with gas turbine engines for a very, very long time, the Kaveri being a prime example of that. But that said, I think through the years, we have gathered a lot of information on how to build engines, as our expertise of today is vastly superior to what we had just a few years ago. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to build full-fledged engines in a very, very, very short while.
What is the next product that our viewers would be intrigued to look at?
Yeah, so in every segment that we talked about, we have very exciting new products that are coming out. In testers and simulators, which has been a mainstay of Pinaka Aerospace, we are getting to proliferate across the aircraft platform, point number one, but also build more full-fledged test environments rather than have multiple testers of various form factors. Have a unified form factor so that you have a single tester capable of testing multiple systems in the aircraft. So that is one big help, because otherwise currently the maintenance engineer has to rely on multiple testers to test every system which constitutes the aircraft. That is on the testers and simulators part of it. On the training simulators part of it, we are doing VR-enabled systems, and we have virtual reality as a core element of many of the things that we are doing. So you have people able to walk through an aircraft with a VR headset and make a determination of what is right, what is wrong, and so on and so forth. And when it comes to airborne LRUs, which is quite the pinnacle of technology, because having a system which can fly in the air, qualified for airworthiness, as they say, is very, very, very tough, which is one of the reasons why even in India you will not find even the large behemoths like HAL and Bell struggling and not having too many airborne components flying today. Pinaka is proud that we are one of the few companies which have got airborne LRUs flying in multiple aircraft of the Indian Air Force today. And we have a whole range of new products coming out for airborne LRUs for modern fighter aircraft, which are still in the works at this point in time. So I can't talk about it, but before the next Aero India, I'm sure you'll be hearing about it. And when it comes to engines, we are now going from missile systems to airborne systems. That's a big leap that we are making, and the concomitant test bed that we have is something which enables us to very quickly ramp up, not only have multiple lines of engines being done simultaneously, but also multiple types of engines. So it could be, like I was mentioning, power units for missile systems or actual aircraft engines themselves. So we are building out a whole range in a new facility that we have just started operating from. So we are very excited about what that could bring us in the near future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.